Hello viewers and welcome to today's lesson. I'll be presenting on the topic Integrated Assessment and Differentiated Instruction to support diverse learners. Every classroom is made up of learners who differ in their abilities, interests, learning styles, backgrounds, and learning needs. Because of these differences, teachers cannot rely on a single teaching method or one form of assessment for all the learners. Instead, they need to use differentiated instructions to ensure that every learner can access and engage with learning, and integrated assessment to evaluate learners' knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes in meaningful and authentic ways. By the end of this presentation, you will understand the meaning of integrated assessment and differentiated instructions, their importance in supporting diverse learners, and how teachers can apply these approaches effectively in the classrooms. So you could take a notebook and a pen so that we could begin our lesson. So what is an assessment? Before even we get to the integrated assessment and the differentiated instruction, what is an assessment? It is the process of collecting, measuring, and evaluating learners' competencies, skills, knowledge, and attitudes in order to determine the extent of learning and guide instructions. And this assessment, it helps the teachers to understand what learners already know, what they need to learn, and how best to support them. In assessment is not only about grading, but about improving teaching and learning to all the learners. So what is an integrated assessment? An integrated assessment, integrate, right? It's a method of assessment that combines the keyword here, that combines knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values into one meaningful evaluation instead of assessing each aspect separately. It measures whether learners can apply what they have learned in real life situations. So instead of just assessing on knowledge or on skills, you combine all this into one task so that you can know or you can assess a learner. So instead of giving separate tests in science, communication, and teamwork, a teacher may ask the learners to plant vegetables in a school garden, keep record, work in groups, and present their findings. This single activity assesses the knowledge of agriculture, the practical farming skills, communication skills, teamwork, and responsibility and problem solving. So what are the characteristics and importance of integrated assessment? It assesses multiple learning outcomes at the same time, right? And it focuses on real life or authentic tasks like planting or rearing animals. It focuses on real life or authentic tasks. It encourages critical thinking and problem solving, and evaluates both the learning process and the final product. And also it promotes the application of knowledge in different contexts. So what are the importance of an integrated assessment? It gives a more complete picture of a learner's ability. This is when you are able to know what this learner is able to do, right? It promotes meaningful learning rather than memorization because it's hand-on activities. These are real-life problems. It helps learners to connect concepts from different subjects, and it supports CBC. And what is CBE? I mean competency-based education. And what is the meaning of competency? This is the ability to apply appropriate knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes and to successfully complete a task. So what is an assessment? Before even we get to the integrated assessment and the differentiated instruction, what is an assessment? It is the process of collecting, measuring, and evaluating learners' competencies, skills, knowledge, and attitudes in order to determine the extent of learning and guide instructions. And this assessment, it helps the teachers to understand what learners already know, what they need to learn, and how best to support them. In assessment is not only about grading, but about improving teaching and learning to all the learners. So a teacher is teaching a reading lesson. Advanced learners read a longer, more challenging passage. Average learners read a standard passage, and learners who need more time to read, they are given a simpler passage with pictures and receive extra guidance. Although all learners are studying the same topic, the instruction is adjusted to help each learner succeed. And what are the 4 areas of differentiation? We have content, and content, this is what learners learn. Then we have the process, this is how the learners learn. The product is how learners demonstrate their learning. That is for example, presentation, posters, essays, or models. And the learning environment, the classroom setting, for example, quiet spaces, flexible seating areas, and learning centers. Then what are the importance of differentiated instructions? They meet the needs of diverse learners. Like all the learners in a class, we have different of them. So it meets their needs. It increases learner engagement and motivation. Because at this moment, when a learner knows that she or he is not good at what her classmate is good at, and you have somehow a way in which you're going to modify so that her also can get the point. It encourages the children to come to school and learn. Then it supports learning with different learners with different abilities and learning styles, and it improves academic achievement as well as it promotes inclusion and equal learning opportunities. So the link between integrated assessment and differentiation: assessment, it helps the teachers to know learners' needs, and differentiation, it responds to those needs. Both support inclusive education. So when an assessment is given, so the teacher will know what these learners need, what this person is lacking, what this learner is lacking, and with that she brings with differentiation instruction. So the teacher responds to those needs by adjusting, by modifying, by adapting new teaching methods. So what are the benefits of integrated assessment and differentiated instructions? They support all the learners, all of them. They don't look at, no, they support all learners. So this is promoting inclusive education. It improves participation, it reduces learning gaps, and it encourages fairness. In conclusion, teaching, learning, and assessment must work together to meet diverse learners' needs. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Have a blessed day.